Hi, it's Abby from Hers Homemade, and I'm making this keychain today. If you haven't already, please like, follow, and subscribe for more content just like this. So we're starting off with a 2-inch acrylic disc and UV resin. I take a pretty small little dot, and I'm just going to spread it evenly all around the entire disc. I use a popsicle stick, but really you could use your finger if you have gloves on. You could use a toothpick. Kind of anything will get the job done. Once I have that spread all around, I'm going to be glittering it just as we would with any tumbler or anything that you're glittering. So I'm starting off and I'm using this pretty coral orange color. And I'm going to pick up the disc and just kind of hold it at an angle and let the glitter just run off the side. I wanted to try and get like an ombre effect with it, but it didn't really work, but I think the color in the end still came out really nice. And we're going to move over to the purple and do the exact same thing. I'm going to just hold it at an angle, gently tap the glitter on and let it run off, tap off the excess, and since it is UV resin, we need to use a UV light. This curing light, it's not the strongest, so it takes a few times for it to not be sticky anymore. So just keep curing it until you feel it's not sticky. Once I brush off all the excess, I'm going to put a pretty generous amount of UV resin and spread it around just like we did before, but this is going to be like a sealing layer. So I actually need to go back in and put more because it took a bit more than what I was anticipating. So once you get it all spread around to the edge and get it nice and even, we're going to cure it again. And once again, it just depends on what curing light you have for how long it takes for it to cure. So here you just see me sizing up the decal, and I'm just going to switch it over to the Cricut and let the Cricut do its thing and cut it. Once that's done, I'm going to be painting the back of the acrylic disc, that is the side that's not glittered. We want kind of like a contrast from the glittered side so you can actually tell what is on the front of it. So I'm just going to paint it to the edges. And while that's drying, I'm going to start weeding out my little decal that I cut out. So this one came out super nice and easy, and it came off in pretty much one big piece. There was a couple spots I had to go back in and weed out, but I love when it comes off in a huge piece like that. Be careful with small stuff like this because it's kind of hard to get the little bits out because it is such a small little sticker. I think it was only about 1.5 inches big is what I sized it to. But after I get that weeded out, I just have this scrap piece of transfer tape that I'm going to just hand press on. I didn't use my scraper or my brayer or anything. I just used my hand because it was so small. It doesn't really make a difference at all. Then we're going to do a second layer of paint just to make sure that everything is nice and even and is looking really good. And we're going to let that dry. And once it does, we're going to put a pretty small little dot of UV resin again, and we're going to seal the paint side as well. You don't want the paint to chip or peel up while you're using the keychain. And then same thing, just let it cure, give it a couple times until it isn't sticky. Then we're going to flip it over and place our decal. Get it lined up, just press it on really good, and then peel back the transfer tape. And once you get that off, we're going to be putting a pretty big dot of UV resin to seal the decal up as well. So we want it kind of to be on the thicker side so you don't feel the vinyl underneath the resin. You want it to be nice and smooth. And you just push it all to the edge just like every other time. Then you're going to cure for a final time, and I add a tassel and an O-ring, and look how adorable it turned out. I love it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and follow for more. Check out my Etsy page. The link is in the description below. Thanks, guys.